we are rushing back to the Kinta because that fire apparently is possibly
next to our farm.
Yeah, 2 kilometres or so. We've got people that have alerted us. They know where we live. The helicopter's just gone over there. So we are cut short our quick Burger King and having to get back. But that is a pretty big fire.
And the problem we have is the farm next to us is a ruin that the guy is trying to sell with about 30 odd acres of land which he hasn't cleared at all. So if it spreads down to his farm, it will definitely reach our farm. So we are just following the bomberos who are going to the fire near our farm. He was probably wondering why we were driving a little bit erratic.
Oh, I can see Dino's.
So we think the fire may be further over than what we originally thought. We hope, yeah. So Justin's worried about the house. I'm just worried about the chickens.
Okay, now that's right where we are.
It's not. But this looks like it's going to be a big fire. There's a lot of smoke. The filming doesn't do this justice. To see this in reality is far, far worse. Oh my God, the water planes are going over. You can't see the flames.
That's really close to us, Barbara.
But this is bad. This is really bad. We've just got to the village.
Jesus, that is so close to us. Close to us.
What the hell is that guy doing? So the fire's about a kilometre away from us. They've got 3 helicopters and 2 planes dropping water. And luckily, well, not luckily, but the wind is blowing in the opposite direction from the farm. So Justin's just loaded up the car with all our documentation, because if it changes direction, it's going to come this way. So anything important we've put in the car ready. It really is quite terrifying. And this is the reality of get your farm fire safe. But look at this. This is the guy's farm next to us. It is just so overgrown. The helicopters are lifting the water from the canal. We are so fortunate that we have a canal next to us, and the canal level of the water is high, so they can put their buckets in and scoop it out. But that's forest over there. This is a big fire. It doesn't look it, but it is a big fire. They've got 4 aerial resources here at the moment. I don't know how many firefighters or vehicles. I haven't looked at the app. I can just see more bomberos coming in their fire trucks down the track. Oh, they've gone behind the trees now. Oh, I can hear another plane coming behind me. I think that means that's another plane on its way.
See the fire from the top of the trees, look.
I know. It's a big fire. God.
Fucking hell, we've got 168 firefighters, 38 vehicles, 8 aerial resources. Fuck.
8 aerial
8.
resources.
Well, you've got 4 helicopters, 2 planes. Look, he's about to do a run.
No, these are 2 more planes. There's 4 planes. Yeah, and there's 4 planes in total.
That's the command helicopter. As you just saw from the clip, we had a very close call with a pretty big fire that happened about middle of August.
Yeah.
But it was pretty scary. Luckily, we got alerted quite early on, and many thanks to the Bomberos, who very, very quickly managed to get the fire under control. But certainly, pretty scary experience all in all.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the last 3 days have been horrendous across the country, hasn't it? We had an alert come through to say that they thought that the risk was going to be extremely high, and there was a lot of fires. Luckily, in the region where we are, on this side of the Estrella, we've been very lucky. We haven't had that many fires, have we? It's been mainly on the other side of the Estrella. So,
it got really bad. I mean, the alert that goes out is like one of these emergency text things, and it comes through to you on. We've got a mobile phone that's Portuguese and an English mobile number, and it comes through on both. And it basically said really high risk of fire for the next sort of 4 days. Absolutely no sort of farm work, no cutting, no chainsaws, nothing. So, and then it proved out to be right, because it was really, really, really bad for fires. Really bad.
Yeah.
So we feel for the people that have lost their homes and their farms and things like that. We have been very lucky, but it is absolutely devastating. And the really scary things is how often these fires are actually started deliberately.
Yeah.
We don't know about the one up the top of the road, but not a good experience.
No, but this is why we all have to make sure on our property that we are fire safe. So we've all got to try and do our bit.
And a little bit unusual as well for this time of year. Normally fire season sort of June, July, August. We've had quite a very warm start to September, haven't we? It's only the last day.
Well, yesterday it rained, so which was quite nice. And it's cold, well, a little bit colder, so I have a jumper on. But if I was back in the UK, I'd be sat here with a t-shirt on.
Yeah, like me. So we had a bit of a late warm burst. Hence, we also haven't managed to do anything on the house, have we? Because it's just been too hot. But anyway, we'll come on to that in a second. So after the fire, we'd just like to say thank you as well for coming back to us on the channel. We have had a slightly longer break than planned, but there's a little bit of a reason for that.
Yeah, we decided to have August off because we knew that in August at some point we were going to lose our beloved dog Guinness. He bless him, he was old, and he wasn't doing too well the last couple of weeks before we had to have him put to sleep. So because we knew it was coming, we decided to say that we're going to have August off. We wanted to spend the time with him, give him lots of treats, lots of love, lots of cuddles, lots of ice cream and all the things that he loved eating. And we also knew that we would need some time after to adjust. We still miss him terribly, as anyone knows when they've lost their pets. It's
a little bit empty around the farm without him. Little things like corner of your toast, a little bit of your sandwich. You know, it did like a bit of donut, didn't he? If he could get his hands on one. And so it obviously very traumatic. We don't want to trigger anybody that's recently been through it, but I'm sure they know how everybody feels. But it was the right thing to do. He had a very good innings.
He had a great 8 months here. In his final months, he had a great time here. He was with us all the time. So we're going to miss him terribly. Well,
we did have him cremated, so he's in a little box in the caravan, little box like that, beautifully done.
Yeah, beautifully done. And we'll at some point decide where we're going to scatter his ashes somewhere on the farm. So very sad, but he had a great life, and we miss him terribly.
And the time was right. You're never 100% sure, but we knew with Guinness that, you know, you could see in his eyes he'd had enough, and we didn't want him to suffer anymore. Not that he was suffering, but he was just going downhill. So so sorry if that's upset some people. It's made us very sad, obviously, and probably made a few people sad as well. And unfortunately, our inspector of everything has left us.
Yes, so
a bit gutted, but there we go. We did promise you in the last video that we were going to start work on the house.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, not really. So the house is going to be started in October, because we weren't expecting September to be quite as hot as it was at the beginning of the month, and then we had the high risk of fires where you're not meant to use any machinery or tools or anything. So and also,
but it was hot. I mean, it was 32 degrees, 33 degrees some days.
Yes, it was hot. So the weather's now changing. Next week it drops down to early 20s. So over the next couple of weeks, the house is being started. No ifs, no buts, the house is being started.
Yeah, after my father's visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, my father comes out on Sundays, so that's that week written off.
Well, we can maybe look at doing a few bits. So, but what we have been doing, when the weather hasn't been too hot or we've been getting up extra early, we've had to move.
Chicken 2.0. Chicken 2.0.
So the chickens have now been moved. They have a new home.
Still here.
They're still
here,
on the farm. They just have a bigger place now. Reason being, we do get dogs come from the village. 3 dogs in particular come quite regularly.
All very friendly to us.
They're all very friendly, lovely. However, we can't trust 2 of them with the chickens. And in hindsight, the first chicken run that we bought really wasn't big enough. We didn't really think it through, did we? So we've now...
Well, we were getting smaller chickens, and we ended up with bigger chickens.
Yes. So we have been busy building them a new run, a new coop. We've actually finished it now. Apart from, we do have to make them a few toys and perches and dust baths and whatever to go in their new enclosure. So also they were getting a little bit confident with...
They're too adventurous, weren't they?
To be roaming around. So now the plan is to keep them in the cage. Before, we would just let them free range all day, but the risk with the dogs and other animals. So we're now going to keep them in the cage for maybe the morning and let them out in the afternoon. So
it's a big cage. You'll see on the video, but it's 30 square meters.
We'll show you that a little bit in the video. So so we haven't been completely
idle.
Yes.
No. Well, a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Well, we've been adjusting to the heat. That's our excuse.
Yeah, so. and the garden as well. The garden's been very productive this year, but we have reached that point where it started to go over now. There's only really tomatoes remaining. So we've had a delivery of wood and a few other bits and pieces to help get the garden sort of planned out better for next year. We've learnt a few things which we'll cover in another video. So we haven't been completely idle, just taking the summer off.
As you do.
Yeah. So
well, hope you enjoy watching the rest of the video.
Yeah, and we'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao.
So I'm just off down to the bottom of the farm because of the dog situation. We have 4 dogs that come to the farm, not every day but quite regular, and it seems one of them may not be a stray. 3 of them are definitely the village strays, and one of them's probably pregnant, and these are the ones that go for the chickens, hence our new build that we're doing at the top of the farm. So they like to stay down the bottom here because of the stream, and there's trees and it's quite shaded and cool, and this seems to be their go-to. So I'm just going to go and see if they're still here to show you what they're like. I can see them, so I can see 3 of them are still here. Yeah, they're still here, so I'll show you. Hi guys, this is the one that's pregnant. She's lovely, but she does like to chase a chicken. Those 2, by all accounts, are a hunting breed. That little one is really shy. This one is not so shy. But we made the fatal mistake of feeding them. We don't feed them on the farm, we feed them at the entrance to the farm, because we're a bit soft like that. And then we've paid the ultimate price, haven't we? Because they now know we've got chickens and they chase them and they want to grab them. So now we're a little bit unsure how we're going to manage this situation. It's a beautiful evening. I think it's probably still late 20s. It's about 7:30, 8 o'clock now. As you can see, everything is very brown, apart from the edge of the terraces where the grapevines, and the good old brambles, nothing seems to kill them off. But yeah, not a lot of green at the moment. But the olive trees are looking good from their severe haircut. There's a few olives on some, but not all of them. Some of them had too much of a harsh haircut. But as soon as we can get back to clearing, we need to start tidying up all the terrace walls, because they're just full of bramble. Even though we made a good start, it doesn't take long for it all to come back. Well, it's a lovely sunny morning this morning. It's now the end of August and we kind of need to start getting on with some jobs again. Today we need to improve our chicken run. We're actually going to move it down onto the next terrace. Reason being, we're getting visits by stray dogs a lot, and at the moment we do let the chickens free roam most of the day when we're here, but we've actually had another dog attack yesterday. Luckily all chickens are fine. Fluffy the cockerel done his bit. He took on 2 of the dogs. He's fine, they've all been checked over. but we need to give them a bigger enclosure so we can keep them locked up more, because we can't watch them all the time. So we will let them out probably when we're maybe on the garden, encourage them to stay with us up there, but we can't let them roam around the farm like we were before. So we're going to incorporate this cage with the new build, and the plan is to put it, I'll show you where we're going to put it. As you can hear, the chickens are protesting. They're not used to being locked up. They normally have breakfast and then come straight out, so they're not happy this morning. But again, we just can't take the risk. So we're going to put them down here. So Justin's been busy, he's cut the grass, he's rotavated. So today we're going to map out how big we can make it, and then hopefully get the holes dug so we can get the uprights in and give them a nice big area to run around in.
This is our go-to aluminium. I think it's best. So we use these when we built the structure around the caravan for shade cloth. This is effectively roofing battens, effectively. So we've got a couple of different sizes. The thicker size will make the uprights. These will just be the cross beams. The actual cage itself won't have much weight on it. It's only going to have chicken wire going over the top of it. But we will support it to stop it drooping a little bit. But yeah, so we'll cement a few of these into the ground to just secure them. And
this was our, out of all the options, probably the cheapest and best, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
yeah, these work out about 16 euros each. These poles, maybe a bit less. I can't remember now. It's per meter, isn't it? But
well, the smaller one is a couple of euros a metre, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
So
yeah, we're going to drag these down and start squaring up to work out what size we're going to do.
now we're undecided where on the terrace to put them. So we can't decide if we put them right by the caravan or down near the house. So decisions. So we're kind of going to do the same thing as we done when we built a cage around the caravan. We've dug 6 holes. We're going to put uprights in with a little bit of rebar at the bottom and then fill them with cement. So we've managed to do 5 holes really well, nice and deep. 6th hole, no, we've hit rock, and we've tried all sorts, and we can't go any deeper. So that hole we'll have to make a little bit wider and hope it holds. There's not really any weight going on this, so it's mainly just going to be chicken wire going over the top. So yeah, so this is how far we've got so far. So the 3 posts or uprights you can see there, those holes are nice and deep. The 2 on this side we've done, you probably can't quite see them, they're okay, but the one in the middle, yeah, didn't do very well with that one. So we're going to get mixing some concrete and then get these in, because we're going to have to leave them for a couple of days to dry, and then we can get the cage built. And the chickens are not happy because we've only let them out for an hour this morning and they're kicking off, so they've got too used to having a free roam. Our little bantam called Maya is actually, the name is very apt, because now we just call her missing in action. All the others stay together and this little madam is so independent, she just goes off and does her own thing. Not a care or a fear in the world. Maya, what are you doing? Are you going to come and join us? Come on then. Come on, you can get up the wall. Fluffy, that's not your chair, is it? Do you want some time out from the ladies and you're hiding? So this is the lovely Estrella that comes to visit us quite regularly. He's a very soft boy, bless him. He's been here all day and he's been sleeping. This little one here is called Julio from the people in the village. He's a little bit scared. He's about what, 5 months old maybe?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So yeah, they've been here all day, so snoozing and wanting lots of fuss.
Yeah, we'd like to point out that the Estrella isn't a stray. He does actually belong to somebody else.
But he just likes coming.
But he's
here.
A wanderer.
Yeah, and he just likes coming down to the farm.
Yeah, so he's got a lovely temperament, gentle as anything. And I think this is his day job.
To come to our
farm, and he'll bark at anybody that arrives that he doesn't know. And in the evenings, if he does turn up, they do go off chasing foxes and things like that off the land. So he does do his job. Little Julio in the background there, unfortunately, doesn't have an owner. He does actually have a sister as well, which you'll see in another clip. The sister is actually a bit of a problem with the chickens. She really does chase them. He's a little bit unpredictable, but we have got him a few toys, and he's starting to learn how to play, but still very skittish. But as you can see, yeah, the Estrella is absolutely, well, lazy, isn't he?
Lazy in the day.
Yeah, lazy in the day. So this is the, well, new and improved Chicken 2.0 accommodation. We've got the original pen that they were in, the cage that they were in. We've got a new house for them on the inside where we built some extra perches. It's covered with shade cloth, and they've now, all right, Maya, blimey. And they've also now got the 30 square metre run. So it's got a roof on it, it's got shade cloth. We haven't put all the little toys and everything like that in them, or some enrichment things, but yeah, so it's buried down. We've got wire going under the ground. It's very, very sturdy.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. It's not going to get blown away. And the chickens like it, I think, apart from Maya, who just wants to go wandering.
Yeah, they're not happy. This is the first day that they're in all day because we're trying to get them used to it. I don't think they're overly impressed because they're used to free ranging, so yeah, but needs must, and we need to protect them. So
yeah. A few little finishing touches, nothing major.
Just need to put a bit more shade cloth round the back of the shed there, which is where they sleep at night.
Yeah.
And then we need to get their toys and enrichment done.
Yeah, swings, slides, roundabouts, all that sort of stuff.
Picnic table.
Yeah, there is one other thing as well, which is quite a practical reason for having them down here, is that when you have chickens, you do get a bit of a whiff of the chickens where they live. So this way, it's a little bit out of the way from us now.
Yeah. And they can't destroy my garden no more.
Yeah.
Because they've eaten all my broccoli.
Yeah.
All the lettuce, all the cabbage.
Yeah. All the cauliflowers.
All the cauliflower. And that also my little flower bed garden looks like moon craters.
Yeah. So yeah. So this way, it's a little bit more controlled.